Hey, it's Steve Zautke with the Traction Reaction podcast, and it's the month of December. Not too much going on in automobile racing, but I wanted to do this video on some really cool gift giving ideas. One, of course, I wanted to mention is a magazine that I write for. It's the Automobilia Resource. And, there's not too many magazines out there. And this one has remained strong. And I got to give kudos to my editor and owner, Sharon Sperling, who's done a really, really good job of keeping this magazine viable. You need to order and have. Now, magazines have had an issue with, how can you stay relevant? Well, one thing is if you're a news magazine, and we all loved our National Speed Sport News, Midwest Racing News, Road and Track, Car and Driver, some of these, we would read our racing reports. Now, well, with the internet, obviously, we can get that stuff like that. Automobilia isn't that type of magazine. It's a collector's magazine, and it gives you a lot of information on stuff that's happening within the industry. If you love, and most people that are in auto, whether it's cars or auto racing, they love to collect stuff. And this is a pretty cool magazine. It gives you all sorts of information about what stuff is not only available, it also kind of gives you if hey, I got this diecast. What's the market doing now? Some diecasts are still going for strong value. Other ones not so much. And we've seen dips, ebbs and flows regarding the diecasts, but not only diecasts, but also higher end stuff. Whether it's some of your signs, your double sided porcelain gasoline signs. Some of those go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's incredible. The large format ones are huge money. So this is a really, really neat magazine. Go to Automobilia Resource and you can subscribe for yourself. It also makes a great, great gift idea. It's just a way to upgrading and preserving and knowing what you have and the collections. I highly recommend it. Automobilia Resource. We'll have all this information in the in underneath in the comments on what how you can get some of these, like this magazine and some of the other things we're going to be talking about. I want to talk about two tracks, of course, in Wisconsin, and one of them is Road America. Road America is just an hour north of me, and right now you can get a 2026 season pass for $580. That's good until the end of the year. It's a great way for you to get a season pass and go to all the big events there. You have the IMSA, you have IndyCar, you have the Trans Am Racing, the huge vintage weekend coming up, which is going to have the second Dan Gurney reunion. It's going to be even bigger than the last one. So if you missed the one in 2022, this one is going to be huge. You had super bikes, the SCCA, the June sprints. It's a great value. Not only that, but they have probably one of the best gift shops run by Julie Sobranik. And this coming Saturday, they're going to have a sale at the physical store at the track on Saturday. That's going to be December, let's see here, December 13th. On Saturday at the track, they're going to have their closeout sale for all the 2025 stuff before they get to 2026 stuff. A lot of unique stuff. And I like to say it's not just, t-shirts and that just say Road America, whatever your track is on there. They're kind of cool. I'll have the link for that. So Road America is also one of the premier racetracks. It's great for a gift too. So, if you have a cousin, a relative, a friend that's never been up there, and they really would like to go, or somebody younger, your nephew, your niece, somebody who's in the auto racing, never been up there. What better way? The other one, of course, is one that's close to my heart. It's the Milwaukee Mile. Milwaukee Mile is going to have a double header. We're back to two IndyCar races at the Milwaukee Mile. If you go to wisconsinstatefair.com, now it's abbreviated WI statefair.com, and click on the Milwaukee Mile link, and it takes you right out to, gives you all sorts of information, not only regarding the track, but also regarding tickets. for the Twin 250 weekend coming up, starting on Friday, August 28th. With practices, and then of course race number 1 is Saturday, August 29th, and race number 2 is of course on the Sunday, August 30th. So they have a Milwaukee Mile store there. They have a to Z guide and also an event schedule. Lots of good stuff. So tip of the hat to everybody at Wisconsin State Fair. They've really embraced auto racing and this event, and it's been the last 2 years has been successful, and we don't see any reason why this year wouldn't be another success. I think it's going to be coming back to the to that doubleheader is I think it's a win-win situation. And I know some people were kind of disappointed last year. We only had one race. Well, we're back to 2, so pretty cool. Two races on the oval at the historic Milwaukee Mile. Now, here's a one that's just come up recently. My buddy Ron Nelson, longtime racing photographer, he's been shooting races at Road America and Wilmot and the Milwaukee Mile and Indianapolis since the early 1960s. And Ron is still active in the sport, maybe not as busy as he used to be, but he's busy with a book recently. He's got a new book coming out on how to upgrade, basically pro tips, how to become a racing photographer. So it's a neat idea for those that are interested in getting into how do I become involved in motorsports or racing. And racing photographer is certainly one way of doing it. So Ron has a bunch of tips for you and maybe some shortcuts on how maybe you can be a credentialed racing photographer. So if you go to Amazon.com, look up Ron Nelson and then racing photographer, you can get that book in the links underneath. Upgrade your skills and whatnot. It's How to Become a Professional Racing Photographer by Ron Nelson, now available on Amazon. So make sure you check that out. He's also on internet, on Facebook, and also Instagram. On Instagram, he's under Road America 56, which actually 1956 was the first year he was up at Road America. So make sure to look up that. That's Ron Nelson, How to Become a Racing Photographer. I want to talk about Motorsport.collector.com. Paul Zimmerman, friend of the show, he's got always neat stuff coming in. A lot of diecast stuff that's coming in. One thing you got to be kind of careful, though, with the diecast market. If there's something that's coming up, and Paul can, if you call up the Motorsport Zimmerman, we'll have his information down there, too. He can walk you through this. But a lot of what's happening is a lot of these companies are doing pre-order stuff. So let's say you want to get a special car or diecast car or something model for a friend who's a fan of, whether it's Formula One, Lando Norris or somebody, the world champion for Team McLaren or somebody like that. And you see, hey, I want to get this particular model at a race we were at or whatever. Sometimes those are, they pre-order them and it might not be available. So if you're trying to order something for the holidays, make sure you give Paul a call because he has more than a lot of stuff in stock, though, that he can get to you in time for Christmas, whether it's Formula One, IMSA, and he also has a lot of older stuff, too. A lot of books, posters, prints, you name it. He's got it there. He's located in Downers Grove, Illinois, just in the suburbs of Chicago. So give him a call. A lot of neat stuff and a lot of cool stuff online, too, whether it's the smaller stuff all the way to larger stuff that you see here. Make sure you check out Paul. And a lot of neat stuff coming out, too. A lot of older Formula One stuff, which is right up my alley, coming up here. Like one that's coming up is the Tolman from 1984 that Ayrton Senna drove. Anybody can have the McLaren or the Williams, right? You want to get the Tolman. That's the oddball car. That's something that just trips my trigger in that. So check out the motorsportcollector.com. Paul Zimmerman, give him a call. He'll look you up. Another good place if you're looking for something for a gift is the Octane Press, octanepress.com. A lot of books there. Of course, we just had John Orovitz on the podcast a couple weeks ago with his book, The Class of '99. But there's a whole bunch of other books out there. Our other friend of the show, Art Garner, with the A.J. Foyt biography, Part 1. That's been selling great. You got other books out there too. Paul Ruloff has a book on IMSA in the 90s that's pretty neat. And there's just a whole bunch of books that are out there that something for everybody, as they say. Ray Everham book, Trophies and Scars. They got stuff on tractors too. They got the first 50 victories on Formula One, the book on John Deere that really digs deep into who was John Deere and how he got started and everything, and of course the company that came. Just a lot of neat stuff from Octane Press. Check them out. I'm sure if you get an order in there, it should be no problem getting that to your friend or family or loved one in time for Christmas. So make sure you check them out. And once again, also recommend Automobilia Resource for a subscription. Give a subscription. Maybe buy it for yourself if you're interested. Highly recommend. I'll have some screenshots. And of course, they got this guy here who does a who does the centerfold. Actually, not centerfold worthy, but apparently my column is, and I much appreciate it. And I do it on the auctions. Basically, gives it we find out some of the most interesting stuff that's out there, and what are the going prices of some of the things. A lot of interesting stuff going out there. A lot of stuff I can't afford, but really, really interesting stuff. I think you'll like it, or for that loved one or friend or something, I'm sure they would appreciate it too. So a lot of things. You don't have to just do the socks or the tie. You can give them something that they'll say, hey, you actually put some thought in this. I really appreciate it. So we appreciate you listening and watching the Traction Reaction podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be doing more videos into the new year. Thank you for listening and watching.